Hi there everyone, it's Brad Glasgow with Game Objective, and I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk about the video I made about BioWare and the unfortunate faces of diversity. Right now the video is flagged as age restricted, so I blurred the demon, the Desire Demon, her mostly naked chest region. It looks like it takes a while for YouTube to take those edits, so but eventually you're going to see it where it's blurred. Hopefully they'll lift the age restriction. We'll see. It might take a while, but they might not lift the restriction anyways. It's no big deal. We'll see. Anyways, the video was a big success, at least for me. 150,000 views. That's pretty great. And we've picked up quite a few new subscribers, and I want to thank you all for hitting that subscribe button and joining us. You're going to see a whole lot more interesting videos covering the game industry, and not necessarily from an anti-SJW standpoint, as people have been talking about in the comments, but from a reasonable anti-extremist standpoint. And I wanted to address some of the different comments that have come up, and the first issue that many have very fairly noted is when I said this. The question now becomes, at what point does the appeal to the female gamer come at the expense of the male gamer? As many of you have rightly pointed out, that is not the proper way to frame things here, and I apologize for my poor wording. The fact of the matter is, when BioWare makes these kinds of changes, it's not at the expense of the male gamer, it's at the expense of any gamer, male or female, who likes attractive characters in our games. Many of you are women, and you've mentioned that you want an attractive protagonist, and you're absolutely right. And I should have worded it better, and again, I apologize for not doing so. Now on to some of the specific comments. I'm a female that has been gaming over 30 years. Gaming is escapism. I want my character to look like a goddess, not a potato. And you're absolutely right. If that's what you want in a game, you shouldn't be ashamed of that. But keep in mind that the only way that developers are going to know your feelings about this is if you speak up. Send them an email, send them a tweet, let them know your thoughts. I think Cassandra looks better in Dragon Age Inquisition. A lot of people have had this comment, and it surprises me a little bit. I don't find her character to be ugly in Inquisition, but I think it's clear that they made her more masculine. In Dragon Age 2, she has some soft, feminine features, and in Inquisition, they kind of harden her up. To me, they went a little bit too far. She's not ugly, but it looks to me like they didn't want to make her attractive. If you think she's attractive in Inquisition, then that's great. Reasonable people can disagree. Basically, in a nutshell, thanks Anita. Well, yes and no. Anita Sarkeesian did make feminist critique of video games popular, and you can view a million videos out there about why she's right or wrong. But I guarantee you that the progressive people at BioWare didn't take much of a push to go into the direction that they seem to currently be in. They are the ones making the games here, not Anita, so put blame where it's due. I personally don't see a problem with changes in how video games present their stories and characters. We have to move out of the stereotype at some point. It is utterly juvenile to think that it is and always should be a majority straight male demographic dominated activity. I'm 30 years old, and it's nice to see different ways to portray characters. Diversity is important, and whether you agree with it or not, it was bound to happen. It needed to happen. Here's the problem I have with this statement. I'm all for diversity, but that's not what this is. At least not for Andromeda. They brought in a beautiful model, and then they made her ugly. Why not just find some plain Jane off the street and use her likeness? Why are the male characters not suffering from the same problems as their female characters? I mean, they all suffer from poor animation, of course, but the females are decidedly different from the males. This is intentional, just because there's this notion that women can't live up to these beauty standards. Do you really need your protagonist made uglier to feel better about yourself? If so, then why are you so weak? If your answer has anything to do with society and how you have to conform to society's wishes, that's bullshit. Screw society, screw conformity. So what? I want to game, not to jerk off. There have been several comments like this, that all people like me want to do is jerk off to a video game character. And you totally missed the point. I want to play an aesthetically pleasing game. It's just a biological fact that people are drawn to attractive people. It's why the biggest stars in Hollywood are mostly attractive. Do you really want or need an ugly James Bond? Do you want Superman to be played by some potato-looking dude? I mean, no, of course you don't. Your channel is very level-headed and chill with its commentary, which I think is something that should be more popular. Best of luck going forward. Hope your channel really takes off. Thank you. That's exactly what we're going for. Level-headed and reasonable. But thank you for the compliment. It's appreciated much more than you know. What an annoying video. BioWare goes for realism, so their females look like real women. Blah, 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 blah. Why do their women have to look like real women, but their men look like models? And many people have talked about realism and that they're okay with not having sexy armor in games because of realism. And that's generally okay with me, though I find it a little odd that people are calling for realism in a game about killing dragons, or about forming miniature black holes with your mind. I think it depends on the aesthetic of the game. A realistic look can be fine, and an ultra-sexy skimpy robe on a sorceress can be fine, if that fits with the rest of the game. The problem is, one of those games is called sexist while the other is not, and that's just bullshit. Okay, that's going to do it for this video. Thank all of you for watching, and thank you for sharing your opinions. I do believe I have read all of them, and while I may disagree with some of them, and some of them are downright mean, I do appreciate you taking the time to let me know what you think. You will definitely see more videos like this in the future, so make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out. If you keep posting comments, we'll keep reading them. So thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.